everyone, and welcome back. It's probably about a week later or so from the last part of this video. So I'm hoping to get those up soon. I have about 3 videos to go up. One of them is the body clutter mission from the prior chapter, which is chapter 4. The other ones are through chapter 5, and I believe one it might be the rest of chapter 4, and then the body clutter mission, and then chapter 5, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to finish up chapter 5 because in the last one, at the time of the end of it, my husband walked in, and then I just never got back to it. And then life got crazy last weekend. I went with my dad to Des Moines, New Mexico, for some basketball games for my nieces, and I've done some shorts in between that are from some of those areas that we went to, and just some things that I saw or whatever. And then on Monday, I had surgery for a trigger finger, so I'm able to take off the wrap today. I'm still a little orange from the iodine stuff, and I have it covered because I don't want to hit it. It's glued. It has glue and stitches, and but I need to do my exercises and kind of use it, but no immersing my hand in water or lifting anything or grasping anything. So it's kind of been an interesting few days. And then I also on Tuesday had a couple of other appointments. So from that day that I had the surgery on Monday to the next day, I had other appointments in my hometown. So one was out in Santa Fe, which is, like 25 or so minutes away. And then other appointments about 40 minutes away in my hometown. So today's my first day that I'm just at home, since about Saturday, I guess it was. Friday actually was the day that we went to the game, Friday and Saturday. So I'm trying to get the rest of this chapter done, and hopefully some other videos done today. So where I had left off was where she was talking about the power to forgive and accept forgiveness is a key to releasing one's internal bondage. So now further on into the chapter, some of the things that I highlighted were: when the forgiveness is granted, sowing, the benefit, reaping, is immediate and apparent. A burdened down feeling is replaced by a lightness. There is a feeling of release, a liberation that happens within the soul. And that's true, because when we let something go, we forgive someone for something they've done or said, even when we forgive ourselves for the mistakes that we make, especially on this healing journey with weight loss and stuff, eating the wrong thing or whatever, instead of beating ourselves up and holding that against ourselves, if we just, forgive ourselves, give ourselves grace, forgive others, give them grace, and then we can, you'll just feel better, and you'll be able to move on from that thing and, do something, the things that you love to do without feeling burdened. Okay. Now, the next thing I highlighted, which I think is it's something that we really need to think about it, because it is true. Forgiveness radiates from the core of your being and will extend itself outwards. But it is that inward grace that becomes granted forgiveness, which then becomes transparent in your very countenance. Forgiveness is a supernatural gift that transcends all other creatures except human beings. There's a phone call. I will be right back. Alright, I am back. It was my doctor's office. The MRI for my back and the sciatic stuff, it has been approved because they were denying it before the insurance was. So now that's approved, so I've got to make that appointment. So on to what I was saying. Let's see where I was reading. Okay. Forgiveness is a blessing both to give and to receive, and it is all within your power. Forgiveness removes the weeds of resentment, anger, and bitterness from your life. And that's just such a wonderful thing to remind ourselves of, because when we hold on to the bitterness the resentment, the anger, that hurt, whatever it is, it will manifest itself in our bodies. So it'll manifest in sickness, it'll in pain, and just the way that we treat ourselves. Because even though the hurt may have been from outside, someone treated us badly, someone did something to us that we're having a hard time forgiving, and there's a lot of different things. There's a lot of traumas, there's a lot of just things that people can do that can really hurt us. And if we hold on to that, just because we think, if I hold on to this and I'm going to hate them forever, and they're not going to care. It does not matter to them. If they were willing to hurt you, they're not going to care if you hold on to it. They're not going to care if you forgive them or not, or whatever you do. The forgiveness in reality is for us. It helps us to let go. It helps us to move on. Now, granted, when we can, if it's someone that we can talk to and we can, you know, get to that point where we can have a conversation and rectify something, you know, restore the relationship if you can, or whatever, that's even better. But there's times that it's just going to be forgiveness for us to be able to move on and start treating ourselves better. When we do hold on to that and we do continue to be resentful and unforgiving, one thing that she says here is that kind of thinking only protects a bitter heart, but doesn't give us the ground to sow seeds of love. It can't, because the forgiveness hasn't happened yet. So all of that makes us bitter. And then it starts coming out in our attitude and how we treat people, people we don't even know. We start seeing those little things that, oh, this person hurt me, and this, you know, that person reminds me of them, or they said something that sounds like this person, and now we're just bitter and hurt with everyone and angry, and we cannot move on, and we cannot truly begin to love ourselves or others. When we ask for forgiveness, we humble ourselves, admitting things aren't perfect. Another place where we can release perfectionism. And we make ourselves vulnerable, which is really hard. I mean, just doing this channel has been a really humbling experience, being vulnerable, going to therapy. I recently had an appointment now with someone new. It's not necessarily for therapy, but it's for some things to help me through some of the things that have happened. I haven't really shared any of that here, but this month, because I have been applying for disability for all the things that have happened with my mental health and physical health, because of that, I was receiving food stamps and general assistance. Granted, the general assistance, if and when the disability is approved, I pay back general assistance. Now the food stamps, I don't know how that works, but mine were stolen from me on the 8th. The day I got them, my dad took me shopping and it declined the card. I couldn't figure it out. It took me 4 hours on the phone to actually get to talk to someone. And it was that they had card skimmers on some of the self-checkouts we're thinking it was at a Walmart in Santa Fe, or a Sam's Club in Santa Fe, or a Walmart in Las Vegas. But it's happened to people here in Pecos, which is like the closest village to where we live, which technically we are part of it, but we live kind of on the outskirts of that. So anyway, the reimbursement was taking, I mean, it took quite a while. And they're not reimbursing cash, they're just doing the food stamps, for whatever reasons. I'm not exactly sure what the reasons were, but anyway, I needed to ask for help, and I didn't want to. I got referred for help, and I still about canceled the appointment. I didn't do that. I went in, and I go back on Monday to kind of go over whatever the rest of it is, and it was one of the hardest things I've done, because this wasn't just therapy. This wasn't just like, I'm going to talk to somebody and get maybe some help with, you know, medication that can help me, or exercises that I can use to deal with anxiety or whatever. And just, I keep looking over here because I keep hearing that in other videos people say look at the green light when we record, because I'm looking straight at the camera here. So I'm trying to look at the green light because supposedly that's where we're supposed to look, I guess. So we look like we're not looking at ourselves and looking at you guys, you know. I don't know. So my eyes are a little shifty. That's probably why, because I keep like trying to figure out, go back to the green light. So anyway, I still don't want to do this. I don't like to ask for help. And first of all, it's embarrassing. And there's so many people out there that just have a real problem with that. I'm trying to learn to see that this is okay, that if I need help, I can ask, because I have given help before. I have done things, and I know that I'll do this again. I'll help other people if I can, when I can, and so it's okay to ask for help. That's a humbling experience. Even sharing this now, like, I still don't want to share it, and I may edit this out. I don't know. But to be humble, to humble ourselves, I mean, the fact that we humble ourselves before the Lord to get His help, to surrender our lives to Him, to be forgiven, to have grace, to have mercy. It's the same thing with us as humans with other humans. We need to be humble. We need to be kind. We need to be forgiving. We need to be honest. We need to be able to give grace and receive grace, and give mercy and receive mercy. We can't hold on to the grudges and be angry all the time and just be these grumpy people who walk around and just talk about nothing but negativity, because it doesn't do us any good. Now, later on down the line, down on the page, she says, however, well, let me go back a little, because it says, it's scary to do this with another human being, but it can be even harder doing it for yourself. We are harder on ourselves than any other human being could ever be. However, understand that the act of forgiveness can truly be the most important way we can love ourselves. Can you love yourself that much to forgive yourself for all the things that you've done, all the things that you even thought of doing, all the things that you've done to yourself? And see, sometimes it's like in this journey that I'm on right now, it's a health journey. So all the things that I did to myself to put myself in this position by ignoring all the issues that were going on. And just because I didn't understand what was happening, instead of ignoring it, I should have gone to someone and asked for help, but I didn't. Now that I do know most of the things that are happening now, if I don't continuously take baby steps to do the right thing, then I'm not loving myself, and I'm not letting go of those things. And every time I do make a mistake, forgiveness, grace, move forward. And the mission for this chapter is on getting the healing you need through forgiveness. So I kind of see this as when I wanted to go on this healing journey, and I wanted to eat healthier. I wanted to get rid of the bad things for me, whether they were bad foods in general. Some of them were junk food and stuff like that, but there are certain foods that are fine for someone else, but I cannot have even if I like them. So in order to eliminate those things, I had to add in good things. So when we forgive others and ourselves, when we give grace to others and ourselves, we are eliminating the hurt, we're eliminating the bitterness, we're eliminating the anger, we're eliminating all of those things that are holding us back and holding us captive. We're eliminating those and adding in the good things, the forgiveness, the grace. That's where the love comes from. Now the body clutter mission in this one, this chapter was short, like I said, and probably the other video that hasn't been put up yet, but it should be up before this one is. This is the body clutter mission, and I will put that on the screen and see if y'all can see it there. And hopefully I remember this time to get a picture of this and share it at the end of the video in a clip. Now, this is one of the most cathartic writing assignments you'll ever do. Open your body clutter control journal and share your hurt and anger with your best friend, you. Do you have someone you are angry with? Write down why you are mad and get it out of you. Write hard and fast. No one else is going to read this. When you're finished, you can tear it up. We like to call it a brain dump. Once you get the anger out of you, you can begin the healing process. We are not telling you to forget the hurt, but forgiveness is the key to letting it go. Just grab your pen and don't let your perfectionism stop you in your journey. What's interesting about this is that a few days ago, it was actually the day I had the surgery. I couldn't do much. I still tried to paint a picture, and I paid for that because my hand was really hurting that night. But I couldn't really write or do anything. And so I watched these videos and that were coming up in my YouTube feed. And one of them, a lot of them about journaling and things like that. One of them was about, morning pages. And there's a book, I believe it's a book. There's also a workbook, and there's one other book. I'm not sure what it was, but it's called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. From my understanding, it's a book that is supposed to guide you through to being more creative. Now, all I do know, since I've never read the book, I'm hoping to get it someday. But from what I understand is before you do anything in the morning, you get up and you get your morning pages journal. So, I started one, and I will show it to you if I can find it. It was a journal that I had here, and just dropped some stuff off my desk. This one here. And I like this. I really liked the cover of this when I got it, and I was going to use it for a regular journal, and then I never did because I had some other journals to use first. And when the morning pages came up, I thought, hey, I could just fill this up and do that. So I started on the 29th. It's supposed to be a stream of consciousness type of writing. So no thinking about anything. It's not supposed to be like a journal where we recount events that happened that day, or what we were doing or whatever. It's more about all the feelings that you have. Get all of your stuff out and just write it. The first day I only got through 2 pages because then that was the 29th, which I think was the day of my surgery, and then I never got back to it. I tried writing with my left hand and that didn't work. So today I did a page and a half this morning. Because my hand's still kind of hurting, so I'm trying to get at least some in. But it's just to kind of get everything out of you and onto paper and clear your mind and allow for that creativity to come through, whatever types of hobbies that you have, or just to allow yourself to get it out. Now, I know there's all these, I've seen a lot of comments on different people's videos that they found that going back and reading it, that there was a lot of negativity in it. Well, there was a few different people that said, well, what they did was, yes, it was negative. There's a lot of stuff that comes out because we do have negative thoughts. And they went through the process of getting all that out. And at the end of their 3 pages, they seemed to always come back to the good stuff. Something good that they were thinking, or some type of gratefulness. Or another one was, you could do this and then have a gratitude journal. Some people did loose leaf paper type of stuff. So when it got pretty negative and they didn't want to keep it or look back on it, they just want it out, they would tear it up, shred it, burn it, whatever. So it just depends on what you want to do. But I thought that was a really good thing, and this body clutter mission reminded me of that.